Okay, so here is Donor Elf. Excited to show this to everybody. I'm just going to pop through pretty quick, and obviously more questions will come up, but this hopefully will give you just a good brief overview of what to expect and maybe some ways that you can look at it. So we'll go to younglife.donorelf.com and we'll get you that link as soon as we can. You'll log in through Young Life single sign-on, so when you click here, it should just log you right in. I've got a demo fund that I'm just going to pop into in a second, but this is what you will see if you haven't created anything yet, right? Just some great information, some helpful things, and we'll pop into that demo fund and we will start to kind of work in this. So you'll see it a little bit different. We'll just go over this dashboard just briefly. Hopefully this is a real dashboard and it'll be immensely helpful for everybody as they're kind of moving through and raising some money. So we've got an annual goal here for this area of $250,000. We can see how much is given already. This is a fiscal year sort of a thing. So since October 1st. What we're expecting to come in, this is through different pledges, recurring giving, all of that kind of thing. Given and expecting, we can see that, and we can even drill in to see what those things actually mean and who's giving that. We'll talk about campaigns in a second, but it'll give you your monthly pledges here too, and that'll be accurate based off of what we have put in for our pledges, but also just automatically with recurring giving. The other hugely incredible, nice feature is this news feed. So it will tell you, because it's just bringing information over from kind of our database, if we've got some returning late donors, a new donor, do we have a late donor? And then you can just click over here. You know, they were expected to give on April 24th, but haven't yet. They gave $51.75. So it gives you some great actionable information for that. Stopped giving. You know, all sorts of things, new donors, all of this stuff hopefully will be helpful as you're raising money and kind of stewarding donors and their gifts well. So that is the dashboard. So now we'll jump into just kind of understanding how Donor Elf works. Donor Elf works through campaigns and transactions. So we want to think of every gift that comes into our areas having it be earmarked for something. Gifts aren't just random. There's always a purpose behind them. And if we don't know that purpose, it's a reason to call the donor and ask them why they gave. So you can think that a donor may give for camp, right? That money's going to go into this campership bucket. We may get some transfers in from a region, a division, another area or something. It's going to go into the transfers bucket. We could imagine also just area things, right? Monthly donations specific to the area, different events, major donations, kind of bigger gifts, right? And so we're going to put some of that stuff into these buckets. And we want to just make sure those things go in. But what will be helpful for you is staff, because as new staff, you are going to walk in and your area may already have this already built out. And so we're going to look into this staff one here that I haven't built out yet. So we'll build that out together. We're going to go into this actions and we're going to add a child campaign. So the staff campaign would be the parent campaign. We're going to go underneath that as a child campaign, and I'll just do myself for this and it'll automatically create this child campaign. And if I'm new on staff and I need to raise, let's say $36,000 for the year, it's going to automatically kind of populate all of those things in there, which is really, really nice. This doesn't roll up on its own, so I need to put in that 36,000 too. I can put in as many child campaigns as I want to be able to roll up into that. So hopefully that made sense. Campaigns, again, kind of are the buckets that we're putting gifts into. So now let's actually put those gifts into that. That's in the approved campaign transaction. So we want to approve any transaction that comes into that. So let's just pretend that Carmen and Caitlin, that couple is they're my donors and they've been giving. They gave 2 different donations here. I can see that's again under these transactions. This one time I'm looking at this campaign, right? So that's the bucket, the campaign. And so we don't have any campaign associated with this gift yet. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to look for that staff one that I just created. Put that in there, hit save. And you can tell that it worked because now it's blue. I'll show you that again. We'll go in here, do that staff one. Obviously for an area, they might have lots and lots and lots of gifts like you can see here. But these two I know that are for me specifically, so I'm going to put those gifts into the campaign, specific campaign. Now, if it's a monthly gift, we don't want to go through every month and have to do that. And just the language around a monthly gift, even an annual gift, if we know that it's set up that way, a quarterly gift, anything, is a pledge. And so we get though to assign that whole pledge. You can see that Marcellus and January are giving $150 a month. Donor Elf recognizes that. I don't want to add a pledge here because I can already see that Donor Elf sees it here. So I'm going to assign this whole pledge to, we'll say it's for me again, staff Adam Silverness, and it populated all of those in there. And if we go back to the home page, we'll just quick refresh this. Oh, looks like we got to pop back in here. That's okay. I just have access to too many things. Yours will not do that. But if I go into staff, I can see, right? So it knows because I put those gifts in there already. If I want to see that, I can just drill in to those things. Hopefully that made sense there. So that is how we put our transactions, those gifts that are coming in, into our buckets, into these campaigns, so that then we can see how we are doing, right? I can automatically just see, so far, I'm 7% of the way there based off of what's given and what we're expecting. So hopefully that will be a helpful way then for me to just recognize really, really quickly what I still need to do. The extra thing to make this even more helpful is the journal feature on Donor Elf. So I'm going to go up to reports and go to journals. You can see I've already added a bunch of journals here, but we're going to add a new one because we're going to add a specific one for me. So we're going to start it here. I do want it associated with the campaign because I want anything that is being kind of given into this thing, that will make sense in a second, to populate into that campaign. I've got a goal date. We'll just set that for November 1st. We'll say we've got a few months and I need to raise my $36,000 for there. We will open this up. And if there's already some contacts in here that I know, I can go through and I can click some. So we'll just click a couple just to show you. And we'll add those 3 contacts. So I added those on the left here, and say I wanted to add a few more that weren't contacts already in the area. I can just do this, and I can just go through. We'll do John Smith. We'll do Joan Johnson. We'll just add those 2, but obviously you can see that you could add as many as you want. And then why this journal feature is nice is now this is a place that's outside of Excel that then I get to just start to track how I'm actually asking these folks. So I click in this blank space under Connect and I can add a task. We're going to set up an appointment with Joan. Right? It's going to be a face-to-face. I can even add a little note, available in the afternoon. I'm going to add a due date to that for this Friday, right? I'm going to assign it to me, hit save, and it creates this little card. Once I've done that, either I've attempted or completed, I hit complete. Now it's time to ask. If I still need to connect a little bit more, that's fine. I just click over here into this blank space and I can add another task there, and that's totally fine. But again, we'll just go here. I'm going to ask this time, and maybe I'll even put the amount that I'm going to ask for, for the 21st, and we'll hit save. Again, just adds another card, right? Once I hit complete, they made a commitment, either none, yes, no. Yep, Joan is going to give $2,500. It's going to be just a one-time gift at the end of May. And then you'll see that I can then add a task here. We'll want a thank you note going to her. We'll put a due date there just to remind me on the 31st, and we'll hit save. Just going to hit a quick refresh here because I've been going through it pretty quick. And you'll see that $208 is here. It's actually spread it out monthly. If I wanted to change that, I can. We can kind of add, we can talk about that when you're ready to do this. But I'll just do that for everybody here as we go through, right? I can do this for Vern and Leanna, and this will just help us to track what's going on and what's happening as we're doing that. You can see a slim view here. There's lots of other things that I can do. So that's just a quick, brief overview. We'll obviously give a much longer explanation, and as we're in this tool, hopefully this will help us care for our donors well and ask well as we're going through. Let us know if you got any questions.